I saw them doing the roof today. I saw them doing
Because I think we want to remove some of the T111 siding and replace it, so we don't have to repeat that.
Okay.
One more minute, okay.
Because I saw, when I was on my walk the other day, I saw them doing it, and I was like, oh, my sister's doing this.
Yeah, I'd have to dig back in and see what the plans were, but I think the sides were getting painted as well.
I know, they haven't started that, but yeah, they did the roof. It took them 2 days to do the roof. And then I haven't seen them do anything else. They usually go walking in the morning. So I haven't seen them do anything else since then. Probably like this week. Okay, so then let's pay attention. Okay.
Okay, I see we got fighting in here for sheets. I'll definitely have to look at it. You ready? Okay, looks like we're technically up and ready to go, so I'll call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Carl.
Here.
Day.
Here.
Lawson.
Here.
Zimnock. Here.
Okay. I guess first on the agenda is citizens' time. If there's a citizen who wants to remark or comment ARB outside of any defense they want to use on their COA, this is the time for it. Is there anybody out there? Okay, then we'll move on to minute approval. We have minutes for the July meeting. Does everyone have a chance to review that? Okay, do I have any type of motion?
A motion to accept the minutes?
Okay, I got a motion. Any second?
Aye. I second the motion.
Okay, I got a motion and a second. Anybody have comments? Any changes they need to make? Okay, we'll put it up for vote then. All in favor of approving these minutes, say aye.
Aye.
And it looks like we got a full vote on that. Okay. We'll move on to, I guess, well, before we move on to the certificate of appropriatenesses, I guess we have an agenda item that was coming in a little bit late that wanted to be added. I'd like to put another certificate of appropriateness application in here for the very thing on painting doors. I guess I'd like to put a motion up to change the minutes to add this to the agenda, or change the agenda to add it. We'll put a vote on it.
Yes.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we got a full vote on that. So let's look at what we got here. So I guess just to align this in the right spot, who do we have here? We got, I guess, you for the very thing, right? And it looks like we got the shed up first. Do we have, okay, you're here, and sheets. Okay, I guess we'll slip this in right before you guys. Sorry about that, but we'll wipe this out a lot quicker than yours. So, first, we'll start off with the shed on 6660 Fayette Street. Okay, we got a certificate of approval or of appropriateness for the shed.
What page is that on?
I see it.
7?
The description's on page 6, kind of a general summary of what she's doing. And then the applicant materials are applicant.
Yeah, and I got actual pretty much colors and
Oh, that's nice.
so Yeah, I'm looking for color markings here for this one.
If you guys can picture the property in your head, it's the Cape Cod along Fayette Street. Two of the houses closest to Sherwood Forest were recently purchased in the last year or so, and a gentleman went in and rehabbed a lot of their buildings. So the color choice that they indicate in the materials matches the color scheme of the Cape Cod, and this would be put at the end of the shingles, and then there's a
This one?
The one with the arrow to it? Arrow, the one top.
Oh,
and then behind that you'll see the vendor sheets for the
yeah.
style. This would be placed on the side of the house at the end of the driveway that's out there today.
Okay. Do I have a motion? Let me look it over first.
I motion to accept ZP 2015031.
Okay, I got a motion, a second.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. Any discussions required? You guys have any questions you want to ask?
What is it being used for?
And does the elevation that you're showing for the style, the two windows and the small person door in the middle, is that the side that'll face the road, or is it the end?
The overhang door will face the road. On the side that faces my most direct neighbor, there'll be two windows that are set very close together. And then the second access door, which is a single door, will be on the other side of the rear facing the backyard of the property.
Facing the house, basically?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And, okay. Yeah, I guess if they, it matches the siding and so forth and so on,
Yeah,
it.
falls on in. So we good? Any more questions?
Now, will this be the overhead door that I'm looking at in this picture
I believe so, yes.
with the windows up high?
There are no windows.
Oh, no windows
No
in that door.
Just an overhang. And there will
Just
be
an overhang.
gable trim. Yes.
That's it.
Like the one that
No
has the
windows
color.
here.
Yes. No windows, just a plain door.
But that's facing the house. You can't see that from the road at all.
No, the
Right.
garage door, it looks like the garage door will be facing the street. So
Yeah, the garage door will be
street-
facing the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, the garage door will be facing the street, and there's no windows in the garage door at all.
No.
So just a blank.
In the second
Yeah.
access door, there will be windows
Correct, which is facing
facing the house.
the house. We can't see. Right. All right. I would prefer windows just for aesthetics, but.
That's fine. So we're good? Okay, guess we'll call for vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Congratulations. Enjoy your shed. Okay, let me see. Keep all my stuff together here. These two are needing to be signed over here. Okay, that moves us on to the modified COA, which I don't have a number on. Do we have a number that we can assign this?
Oh, you do have a number on the, oh, for that one.
And this one is not in the packet, right?
Correct.
Okay, so we'll have to pass this one around.
Yeah.
Okay, before again, we'll pass this around real quick. Brief history, the very thing, building, the owner wants to paint or the renter wants to paint the doors, and And that's the, both doors, the front door and the side door? I guess to a black color.
Yeah, well, they got multiple same.
Mr. Chairman, those colors represent are the colors of the
The roof?
tin roof, yeah.
Right, oh, I'm sorry, so this is basically just to paint the door, is that my understanding?
Yes.
And paint it black? Okay. No.
Copies.
Kind of orangey rust, and I just thought that if we did a black or even a gray, it might pop more. We've got the two black lanterns on either side of both doors, and I just wanted to make it pop, make it look better. That's all. Especially get it done before Haymarket Day, because we're going to be right in the going towards the kids area.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not the purview of this board. I mean, as far as
This
the
door.
fact that, the fact that the town owns it, I mean, she's renting it, but the lease says she can do what she wants as far
Yeah,
as.
she'll, Brian, the town manager,
We,
will ultimately sign the application, but it's still within your prerogative. You could approve it, and then, the town may say no, but,
Yeah. Denise, do you, off the top of your head, have the typical color schemes that are used for these type of buildings back in that time frame, or? Okay, because was black a typical color for the doors, do you know?
well, more recent example is Winterham, before it was
Yeah.
repainted. Winterham had the black doors. Before it was refurbished, it was blue
Yeah.
and had kind of a darker tin roof. And white was tried to be true to the period, more around the time that it was built. A lot of the houses were white. The roof color, I think, I can't remember the history behind that decision, but I think black is more of your color of that era. That high dirt, sort of things.
And do you have any type of feedback from Brian at this point, or?
No, but it's,
So it hasn't been approached to him yet?
I think the idea
Okay.
was because council meets, rather than go to the council, get them, and then come to you, it's kind of do it in reverse,
Right.
so.
Well, it cuts off some time so that you can get it done before Haymarket Festival,
Get
so,
one of my stepsons to do it.
yeah.
I'm fine.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Okay, like I said, I just wanted to try and get some type of consensus on what type of feeling the town will have on it, since it is town-owned.
Yeah, actually, as we're talking about it, what year is this house?
1865,
1865.
Hellfish House.
And all the historic photographs we had of it, does anyone know what the
I think
paint
they're
scheme was?
white.
Yeah.
Well, I was kind of wondering, I mean, that's a little early, but, it possibly could have had some of the gingerbread painted too, in different colors and so forth. So it would not have been unheard of to have it.
Yeah, I think it probably still fell within like a three-color scheme.
So, yeah.
But, we've already,
Without photographs of, of that, or I guess when we did the renovations, did anyone study the past paint colors?
well, the previous paint colors of the house, that was studied. I think we had it, but see, I don't know if there's misinformation on it, because we definitely had a lot of stuff on that, but I've heard it was painted yellow almost initially, and then it went to a blue or grayish color, right? And so, but yeah, through its history, it's kind of flip-flopped back and.
I guess what I would offer is that it's it's a fairly easy fix.
Yeah.
You know, if the black gets on there and it just totally goes sideways, I mean, obviously it's her business. She doesn't want to look bad. It's something we could probably work to resolve if it doesn't match very well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Unlike painting a whole,
The whole house,
structure.
yeah.
So.
Right.
I mean, I would, if not black, anything. It just needs something to pop. It really does.
Yeah.
In hindsight, we probably would have preferred to don't have a 6-panel front door. The door probably would have been a little more decorative and more of the time period, but that building was done kind of on a shoestring budget and was trying to do as much as it could. So.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to try and get a feel for what all the parties were, what their feels for, and just to get an idea before we lock into something. But like Marchand said, if it doesn't look appropriate and that you're uncomfortable with it, we can always address it later too. So okay, any more questions?
No?
Okay, we'll call for a vote. All in favor of the COA, say aye.
Aye.
Good. Oh, yeah.
Oh, do we have a motion?
Oops.
We didn't have a motion on this?
I motion to accept ZP 2015031.
I second the motion.
Okay, got it. Oh, yeah, that's right, because we didn't have the number. Okay, I got a motion and a second. We pretty much did all our discussions, so revote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, and you got the original COA down there, right? You guys got the, oh, we passed it already. Okay. Let me gather up all the pictures. And now I'll wait for the demolition, since that party is not present. We'll go right to the sheets rebuild on Washington Street.
Mr. Chairman, we have Marion Harders, Alan Stevens, and John Maxwell representing the Sheets. They've turned in a certificate of appropriateness. This is a follow-up to the architectural drawings you saw, I guess, about 2 months ago. And what they're asking to do is to provide an alternate light fixture for the interior parking lot, but they will provide the decorative fluted lighting that we currently use along Washington Street for their improvements along Washington. So this is a request, and in the ordinance, interestingly enough, it says if you want to do a fixture other than the Washington Street style, that you have to come to the ARB to get that fixture approved. So they do have the cut sheets in there. There's a brief summary of the lighting fixtures. I did have a follow-up question for them, and I believe you were given the email that the pole is 20 feet tall with on top of a 3-foot concrete pylon, and they estimate anywhere between 12 and 13 fixtures will be provided around the site. The second part of the application was you looked at a comprehensive sign package, and there were additional signs that they had in the package that wasn't part of the illustratives that you reviewed and approved. So they've added on the summary sheet that you see at the back of the packet two sign types: automotive display and a double-faced internal sidewalk sign, and those are described on that attachment B. So you may have noticed too, the Leeberry Shopping Center. I don't know how many of you noticed they replaced the light heads. In that facility, used to have kind of a box sodium lights. They went to a LED fixture. Similar in here, it's very flat, very directional. I think does a better job of kind of being lost in the background when you take a look at it. So I'm doing their job for them. So Mr. Allen's here, and I'll let him finish out the description of what they're trying to
I
do.
just brought pictures of what he was talking about, that's all. I'm
Okay.
Alan Stevens, I work for Sheets.
Mm-hmm.
I can kind of walk you through.
Thank you.
The first picture is what is on our site, on our lot today. And like Marchand I mentioned, the second and third pictures are lights in the Food Lion Shopping Center. I just looked at those last week. The fourth picture is actually the picture we propose to use. This is
Did we approve the Leeberry lights? I don't recall.
But if you look at them, they are a lower, or a smaller profile than what the original
I'm
ones
not
are.
arguing that, I'm just, why it news to me, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Slap Marshawn Sam. We're discussing how the Leeberries changed it and kind of passed by.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. Leeberry,
I didn't either till after it was done, so.
it just so happens that the light that we're proposing with it on the cut sheet, that's a picture of one. And here's one that was just recently installed this week. We're building a store in Manassas. So it's a light that we've been using as an LED, so it's very efficient. It's low profile. Something that we have our own operations department, so if there's a problem with the light, our guys have all the parts in the truck to fix it. We use it because we obviously have a light plan, and it provides a very even light across our parking lot. It is cut off, so it's engineered not to spill onto other properties. But two things that come up. Number one, security. It offers a good light so that our cameras can pick up everything on our lot, and also since people are pumping fuel at night, it offers a good light for safety reasons also. We had looked at the lights across the street at the CVS, and they're very nice, but they don't provide a very even lighting pattern. I was over there again last night, and actually even have a little video too. But some of the areas of the lot is lit. Some of the areas aren't lit. I kind of took different shots of the lot, and it's a concern that our security people have. They would like to have a parking lot that's lit uniformly, again, so that if there are any issues, that our cameras can pick those up.
What, these fixtures?
Are these the same as these?
Those are-
these lights?
Yes, those are, the black lamps are on the CVS lot, then the green lamp at the end is the light that you have along Washington Street.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think you did put inside the reflective panel.
So, as nice as that looks,
Nice and simple one on-
it shows how good it looks. Great. Even distribution. So you're saying these will give us a much nicer, more even?
Yes, and John Maxwell, if you choose to see it, we had done a lighting plan to show what the lumens are across the parking lot. Probably an average, is it like 2.5 along the lot? Yeah. And then, again, they're cut off so that, the one thing I noticed about, it's not a terrible spill, but the light in the CVS does spill toward Route 15. And I'm not sure a lot of places we have to have basically 0 at our lot line, so that's what ours is engineered to do.
So these lights will be going straight down?
Yes.
for the most part.
Yep, it's a flat lens LED, straight down.
And how many of them did you say you were going to have on your lot? I didn't see any layout for that.
It was 12 to 13 fixtures. There is a site plan requirement for an average illumination across the site. I think unlike the fluted fixtures we see along Washington Street, they throw and cast light everywhere.
Yeah.
And so I think one of the town's policies is try to reduce light pollution in the town. So these fixtures do a good job of directing the light downward into the property. And have you ever heard called the night sky standards, trying to reduce that light? So they'll continue to use the fluted along Washington, and then they'll only use as many as they need to meet the minimum illumination requirements and their security requirements. We're also going to separately be talking to them about canopy lighting. That's lighting you won't be able to see, but will be up inside the canopy. We're going to talk about that as part of the site plan and SUP.
Yeah, that'll also be LED cutoff lighting too.
I have a quick question. I'm sorry. I'm new to learning about the rebuild. The rebuild of this location, is it similar to the rebuild that you're doing in Manassas?
It
As
will
far
look-
as entry and exit, I know it's different as far as the entry and exit
Yeah.
portions, but
The brand new building we're building in Sudley Manor in Ashton, this will look very similar to
it'll
it.
be similar to that? Okay. I drove by it the other day and I was surprised. I was like, yeah, sheets.
I'm sorry, where does the double-faced internal sidewalk sign go? I'm sorry, I'm not sure,
It is,
just not registering.
it's actually temporary. It's not a fixed sign.
I've got the map. I don't see it.
That's one of those signs.
It looks like this. It's, has wheels on the bottom, so it can
It's one
be
that can rotate
relocated.
around.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Is it the one that holds like the specials and,
Yeah, they used to use, they'd have a sign, and they would use, attach it to like a bullet or something. We're not going to do that here. We're just going to use this sign. It stands on its own, and it has a replaceable copy.
Here's the
The idea was to try to really get away from, we call them bandit signs, try to give them enough opportunities to advertise their specials, but reduce a lot of the clutter that's there, so. The automotive display was an oversight. That was, they do the outdoor displays of windshield fluid and other types of automotive related, so that's why we asked them to go ahead and include that display. And then
That would be in the window?
but no, that would be outside. Like if you go there today, you'll see the windshield fluid on the outside. There's a little display that says,
Oh, okay.
automotive fluid.
I got you.
yeah.
And then there's the sidewalk signs, and then there the, I believe the other one is the lower glass panel on the doors. You have the Sheets logo kind of at handle level, and then they were looking for additional sign area below that logo.
Yeah, it's just a sign that we put on our car wash display.
Isn't that typically how they have it presented? Like the Sheets logo in the door at arm level? Okay. I was just wondering if the doors were measured differently or something like that. Okay.
And this shows a double-faced directional sign. Is that
That was part of the
included in this
original plan
package?
you already looked at.
Okay. And this COA is for these signs as well as the lighting fixtures, right?
Yes, sir.
We had them spruce up the pumps, right? To do like the stonework?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Marchant, on the exterior of the building,
Okay.
I'm looking at the plans, you have an exit going out the side onto 15,
Okay.
and then you have another 2 lanes. Is that a double lane?
Let me come up here.
Okay. Sorry. This lane here, is this a lane going this way, and is this a lane coming this way?
Correct. So
Okay.
when the interchange is done, this will become a right-out only.
Right out.
Okay.
So people that want to go south on Fifth, this will be a 2-lane access road. Pickle Bob's is basically right
Those will
here.
still be there, yeah.
So they'll come up through there. and so- Also over here, this median is going to be closed.
Would there be a light there?
No, it's too close.
It's too close to that one? Okay.
Yeah,
So this one will
This will be a
be,
ride only as well.
this will be come in, and this will be exit
Right in, right out.
right out? Okay. That's going to help at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
That's what I'm out.
And this is similar to if you've been out at the 1729 interchange near Culpeper, between Culpeper and Warrenton.
Yes. Okay.
You know how they have that long service road to get to it?
Yeah.
That's similar.
It's similar to that one? Okay.
Because that would match the pumps, because we had to do that with the pumps.
That's a good point.
The thing is coming to scale with it, though, you know?
You know, his point is that, I mean, actually, overall, I mean, it is what it is. It's functional, but he talked about the pumps being on, you know, some stone, or was it brickwork or something, as opposed to these just poured concrete piers.
Could they do like a, maybe like a box thing, like a square box, you know, or would it be stonework, so that would cover up the concrete on the base, just to make it look visually better, because like I say, just to match the stonework that we had them upgrade the pumps to.
Yeah. Yeah, we could keep that theme going, if they are gonna stand them up like this. Yeah, we could keep that theme going.
And you could do, just to throw it out there, I know it's just a sign, but you could do the similar thing with
Yeah, but that's a tough one, because to scale that down, the size, that sucker's gonna be sitting about
Yeah,
this high.
that's
another
true.
small
That's
sign,
true.
very
That's true.
functional
That's
street sign based
You're
almost.
100% right, that's a good.
Question for you. On the, I guess, security lights, the large security lights, they sit on cylindrical piers, poured concrete piers, which we're kind of concerned, it looks very utilitarian and functional, which
But
it
as
is.
you can also
But
see,
it also
the
is,
shrubbery
you
around
know,
it
adding
would be covering it up.
another material, another element that is not really, I mean, other than the curbs.
Our lot, too.
Around it.
Yeah, our lot will be concrete also, the entire lot.
There's a lot of concrete, which almost makes me want it more. What are the possibilities that we could get these piers to be, you know, square or something that, and made of a material that is found elsewhere on the property, such as this brick? I don't know what stonework you have. I've forgotten. You think you have a
Yeah, I
water
think we
table?
got a
You have a water
veneer.
table, right?
Yes.
And with like a water table with probably a top cap. Yeah, I think I see a light colored band. Is that a lighter little drip ledge or something that is protruding over top of the water table? Well, is there any way we could make those concrete piers to have more of an appearance as the water table?
A little more aesthetic.
Yep, good question. The bollards we have around there are just to protect them. I know over at CVS, somebody already popped one of their lights. It's been gone. It's been missing for the last couple of months.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll watch that
You
something
know,
lay
any-
down.
Anything that we might be able to
That runs
do
into
there?
those, yeah.
It's a good question. That's the first time I've heard that one.
Probably like the same type of thing as a veneer to the pillars to the overhang, right?
I believe so, yeah.
You could do something like that to it.
Yeah, with these being round, I'm not sure how that would be affixed to a round surface, but
They don't have to be round.
You can make them square.
You're just talking about the bollards around the light fixture?
yeah, this would be something that
The base,
I have to say that we've never done before.
Light fixture.
the base of the light fixture is just a utilitarian piece of concrete so someone doesn't back into it, and they'll take out their bumper before they take out the light fixture. But,
Is there just something to make them look a little more aesthetic for the more?
We could put a texture of there might be a way to texture that concrete that looks like pattern.
Like a stamped concrete?
Like more of a stamp pattern than actually affixing a brick or something to it.
So kind of like
Instead
a
of
pattern,
a
like,
cylindrical form, right?
But-
so it kind of look like
Yeah,
stone.
I'm not
So
so
it would look-
excited about that, because again, that's introducing yet another element to the hodgepodge.
Well, the stamp pattern doesn't have to be a different, necessarily like a odd. I mean, we stamp concrete to look like stone, and we stamp concrete to look like brick.
So it could look similar to the stonework that we chose for the pumps, right, or whatever we did there.
I mean, another suggestion, what about just staining the concrete to match the pole? That would kind of, wouldn't make it stick out as much. Is that
True.
something you can do?
There are stains for concrete. I know we used
The painting peels off within the main.
we had stained sidewalk before with color.
Can someone please remind me what, because I'm not sure, I was here, I'm not recalling, what we had them do for the bases of the,
And I don't remember. Do you remember? Do you have that with you?
Yep, hold on a second. So the canopy, we had asked them, they were going to do a box canopy, water table for each of the uprights,
Those are brick.
and, yes, I'm trying to find the one that we, is that the one we approved?
yeah,
I'm sorry, I can pull out the approved schematics. Hold on a second. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
This is
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
the brick,
The brick
that's
base.
the store, and then the column, the square column with this dark bronze.
So that was what is coming in. This is what we
Yes.
decided.
So this was on the pylon sign out front. You would ask them to match basically the architecture of the
Correct.
canopy stanchions. So,
Mm-hmm.
so the suggestion maybe to match that to the bottom of the light poles there?
I would think, that, yeah, I just think that you would keep that archetype going, and yeah, either that or like, so the water table would also be a tie-in to the original building.
You mean we're using brick, or using, the water table in the building is stone.
Correct. Yeah, I'm just trying to tie it into the building. Actually, that's probably a stronger tie-in there with the
Here's
brick.
the original context for all the signs that are.
But so you already have the archetype of these little piers around. Okay, so on top of those piers, you have the canopy coming out, and on top of these piers, you'd have your lights coming out. It all kind of
Ties in together.
ties in together
It would look better.
as more of a unified project. It would also make those rather space-age looking lights a bit more palatable. Yeah, if you can look into that, I'd really appreciate it.
Yeah,
I
I'd
think that
go
would be
back to our architect and see.
'cause I don't think it would be, I mean, obviously, yeah, that's no brainer. You have your little cylindrical mold you stick in there and you pour full of concrete. But, say you guys out there, with this brick doing the canopy, you can just walk over and, then you can fill it full of concrete once he, builds your little brick
Yeah, right.
3.5 foot high square.
Here's what they
Yeah.
have on their property already. You can see the bollards around it and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, see, I think, that's, again,
Well, yeah, well, no, see,
I agree with
he could get those to match the ones that were on the stainless steel ones. I think those looked like they were stainless steel on that. Actually, what if I were doing this? I got this nice stone water table. I would actually repeat that here, the material, and then I'd actually probably repeat that also. I probably would have done that on the canopies too.
I mean, looking at this, I want that even more. It's in the center right there. You know why? Just to make it look, if they can do
Why
it.
do you need these balusters here when that is its own big baluster as far as traffic to keep from hitting it? That's to protect this. Why do you need that to protect that? To protect that. Sure. It's like a little overkill there.
Of course, we do the brick, then.
Or just say conditionally approved on a
Yeah, you're
brick,
right.
and if you can't do it.
I don't disagree with that.
Well, I think they could do it.
I think so.
I don't think it's much.
Materials our architect wants to use for that.
I think it was that much out of the box.
No, actually, I think it's a really, really good point. I'm glad you thought of it. Like I said, I would, because it's almost the exact same height, So then you have that element right there being repeated here.
I
It's
completely
really
agree.
strong.
Tie that into the pumps, exactly.
But if they get
They're
I would
removing
take
all the
that
pumps from this
side
side.
and put on the pumps myself.
How many pumps are already there?
But, but that's still a strong tie-in. But
I do not know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. maybe
That's
10.
what I was thinking too, so it's 5 on one side, 5 on this side, like 5
Yeah.
here, 5 there, so they're taking it out and just putting all of them here in one location.
Right, these will be double stacked.
And then here is just parking.
Yeah, parking. What they're trying to do is they're trying to raise this from just a gas station to a convenience store
Yeah.
with food and all that stuff. So
Okay, so they're
they're
basically just
creating
upgrading the
a
whole.
parking area for the food.
I thought they were going to build a new building back here.
They are.
What is gonna be
The
back
round
there?
base, the square base,
Right now, it's
veneer or
like the drain pond. I think it's going to be built in partially where the drain pond is now.
Okay.
And they're going to drop the original building and put the pumps in there.
Okay.
They don't want to shut down. That's the big
Okay.
thing. If they ever
Yeah,
shut
'cause I'm
down, they're
wondering
out
how
of
are they
business.
gonna-
For,
yeah,
they're out
I'm
of
wondering
business
how
for
they're
6
gonna
months,
do
right?
that. Yeah.
So what they do is they stay open. This is totally functional. They built a whole new building back here.
Ah,
Don't have a
okay.
drain pond, I guess, whatever. And
Yeah.
then when this is fully functional, they rip that down.
Okay. Second question I have, what about the truck drivers? Like, so it's actually basically taking that out of the equation. Like 18-wheelers, you get a few of them that come in from time to time, but like, how would they can,
18-wheelers are
Well,
actually
no, that
at
was-
the
well,
station.
yeah.
It's only whatever they call the automotive diesel. It's not the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause,
See, I thought that's what they were doing, making it,
the trucks.
yeah, they're too high.
but it's kind of painting brick and.
Okay. Because I was wondering about that. I thought when they were doing it,
The
that
snow,
that
we
was
start putting the snow up there.
what they were going to be doing, you know what I mean?
That whole area, the truck stop there.
Well, I didn't want it complete, I didn't want it to complete. But I thought that was what they were doing. They were, including them in as a, no. Okay, all right.
Strictly for
Cars, trucks, diesels. Okay, all right. Just trying to get myself familiar with it. Okay,
Alan, do you want
I
to
think
offer
I'm
that?
caught up.
Do you want to offer that up or do you want to?
So is this the one that we did?
You can have. I think we have one. So yeah, take yours. Take that.
Mr. Chairman, I guess what we were just discussing as a sidebar is that I think they would like to get some sort of approval tonight. So if it's conditioned on that, and if they can't commit to that, then they'll come back. But they would like the opportunity to go back and vet that with the, except with Alan, there's concern about additional brick facade with maintenance of it.
Yeah, I'm sure we can do something like this. I just want to make sure that our guys can support it, that's all. Because that's something that I haven't proposed before. I just want to make sure they can just maintain it, that's all.
Sure.
Okay.
But if we understand correctly, the recommendation would be do square base with a brick veneer or brick appearance to match the.
I mean, either stone to match the water table or brick to match the building, the upper part of the building. Either one. And
Brick to match the sign, or stone to match the water table on the building. Either option's good.
So you want it to look like that?
it'd be shorter. It would be like, it's only like feet high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than a concrete round base, a square base of equal height with either a veneer to match columns of the signage or the water table, the stone water table on the building,
Yeah.
at the applicant's discretion.
Yes. No, I gotta get that written.
When is
down,
this
so I gotta find-
supposed to start?
They probably want to start yesterday, but,
Oh.
so these are concurrent applications. They have several things going. We have these certificates of appropriateness that you are reviewing. We also concurrently have a site plan to redevelop the site, and the use requires a special use permit.
Okay.
They were wanting to get these details done to be able to reflect those in the plan and not have to come back later. So once this is done, they'll resubmit the site plan to SUP, then they'll have hearing, the commission and the council will have hearings on both of those items.
Okay.
So, Rashawn, if I understood everyone correctly, these floodlights, for lack of a better term, you don't know exactly how many they're going to put. They're going to put as many as they need.
Yeah, site plan right now reflects 12. 12.
But there are some of the traditional light posts going in as well?
Correct. So you're going to have fixtures on the building, which were shown as part of the architectural drawings. You're going to have fluted lighting, decorative poles along Washington
That match the Washington,
Street facade.
Right.
These are only for the freestanding interior parking lot poles.
so we're not approving those other, this is just the poles we're talking about already.
The freestanding, the internal parking lot lighting fixtures, the height in the fixtures are what you're being asked to look at tonight.
Of the flood, what I'm calling flood.
Right, they had decorative lights, on the building. They have the internal illumination for the freestanding sign. So,
Internal illumination.
so, Mr. Chairman, if I can offer, you're approving the lights fixtures as conditioned, and then the addition of the two signs as described in the.
Yes.
Right now, I'm trying to get that condition in here.
And there's no issues with the internal lit sign?
We've already passed that benchmark. Now, they're also filing zoning text amendments. Right now, we're in the middle of going through revisions to the sign ordinance. And one of their proposals is to allow this sign to be internally illuminated. All the signs on the main building are going to be gooseneck lit. And I can't remember off the top of my head if I think the canopy, the only sign that'll be lit on the canopy will be the logo. Internally illuminated lights are currently prohibited. They have a grandfathered use of the signs out there today. So that's the compromise we struck.
Understood.
Okay. What I have on this COA, as it stands right now, as the description that they gave, with the conditions of the lighting concrete base must be squared and dressed like either the original signage bases that we agreed upon or the water table of the building. Is that a good enough description for you?
Either the brick base of the sign or the stone water table.
Yeah.
I'll just add the description of the materials. And then just at the selection
Yeah.
of the applicant. So. They're the same?
They're the same.
So,
Okay. Does everybody understand that condition? Okay.
Yes.
So now that we've discussed this, I guess we'll put this up for a motion. Bring it into voting capability. Page after that one.
There we
There
go.
you go.
I don't see,
Doesn't look like you have it on yours. Here you go.
I motion to accept zoning permit ZP 2015030 with the added
Second page on
added stipulation, condition that the lighting concrete base must be squared and dressed like the original brick signage or the stone work table of the building.
Water table.
Water table. At the applicant's discretion. Did I cover that?
Yes. Okay, I got a motion. Any seconds?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, I got a motion and a second. Any last chance for a question? Okay, we'll put it to a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Did you want these back, or can we keep these?
Oh, thanks, guys.
You can keep these?
Oh, no,
Okay. Yeah.
All that together.
Have a good night. Drive safe.
Okay. Now go to our last COA, which is the demolition of the Pardo property on 14881 Washington Street. I'd like to get a little bit of an update from Marshawn on that before we start discussing this.
Mr. Chairman, last month you tabled for a second time the application. Up until today, I was unsuccessful, and Denise and I were unsuccessful in getting a hold of Ms. Pardo, the applicant. We had sent to them Ms. Pardo three questions, which you consider kind of some real alternatives. First was, how quickly would demolition be approved if how soon would it take place if approved? Was there a possibility to meet with the town staff to review previous plans that she had for the property and the building to see if there's a way to maybe recycle or revisit those plans and reuse the main structure? Also recommended a partial demolition. That would be just the removal of the rear additions, stabilizing or mothballing the main structure, and clearing the rest of the property of debris. And then the last one would be harvesting. The suggestion was harvesting materials from the main structure, kind of a cut through of the building material to be used for display in the museum. I did call her today. She is still in Mexico City. She had not responded to my email because she didn't have any plans, and I guess felt like she couldn't because she had no pending vision for the plan, that she didn't feel like she could respond. I did offer to her that we were interested in wanting to work with her about it, and talk to her about having the ARB conditionally approve a demolition of just the rear additions, stabilizing whatever the part of the building, the main building, is exposed by that removal, trying to harvest any of the materials from those rear additions to restore the main building, and then stabilize kind of the grass area or try to clean that area. She's going to be back in the country in September, and we were to meet myself, her, also Joe Barbo, the building inspector, that went on the tour with us. Get his feedback on some insight based on his experience in Salem, to see if we can come up with some concepts to try to reuse the main structure. She seemed, she was agreeable on the phone to that alternative, and seemed generally interested in wanting to meet and see if we can. I think she felt that as many times as she tried to do something with it in combination with her personal life, wasn't getting anywhere, and this was kind of a result of that frustration. So, Mr. Chairman, I would recommend if you do take action, I would recommend you do take action tonight. The 60-day period has ended. To sound very bureaucratic, it says shall, doesn't say must. So just because you've passed the 60 days doesn't mean it automatically gets approved or denied. This was your first meeting after the 60 days. So I would ask or recommend you make a decision tonight. I have suggested, if I may read to the ARB, conditionally approving the demolition, or conditionally approving the certificate based subject to the following conditions: demolition being limited to removal of the single-story rear addition, weatherproofing of the main building areas exposed by the rear addition removal, documentation and photo archiving of the rear additions prior to removal, and then further recommending that any materials from the demolition be harvested for use in rehabilitating the main structure. So I feel like it's a good compromise, gives her some ability to do some things with it, but doesn't remove the possibility that maybe we can. So that's my recommendation.
And I feel that's a good compromise.
Yeah.
At least to stay pat until we do decide how we want to move forward. You wouldn't by any chance have that written on a separate sheet for me to just,
I do, I was scribbling it here. I'm sorry,
since you had it down already?
there's always the best intentions of having these draft motions for you ahead of time. If you can give me a second, I'll go ahead and,
Either that or give it to me to recopy on the back.
So basically, we're gonna have the back portion of the house demolished. Keep the front portion of the house until something is decided on what she wants to do with the property.
Yeah, the back portion is actually an addition
addition, yeah.
to the original house, so we're looking to keep the original
Okay.
structure.
The rear is rather ramshackled and
Yeah.
rather dilapidated.
Because I've only seen like the sides and the front, and I knew there was something else going on back there, but I didn't want to walk around and be nosy.
I did. I know, probably trespassed, but,
See, I don't want to get in trouble for that, so I don't know how far I can go to look at things, but.
I mean, the general rule is if someone submitted an application for a review, it implicitly gives you permission to
to inspect.
Okay.
and look at the property.
Okay, so my next walk, I'll just walk around it real quick, because I'm afraid what might be back there too. I don't want to run into any raccoons or anything, but I'll do a quick pivot around and see.
Yeah, there's a little overgrowth of the shrubbery around the corner that can be cleaned up in the
Yeah.
corner area, but,
Because I have seen people mowing it. So who mows it?
The
Is
the
that
house
us?
next door on the corner of Madison Shops
Yeah.
is owned by Ms. Pardo's mother.
Oh, okay.
And I think the gentleman that maintains that property cuts the
Cuts the
grass
grass
there,
there,
and then
okay.
also, I think, maintains the property,
He does.
the apartment complex directly across
I've
the street.
seen him, so I was wondering.
You see him racing across the street on his lawnmower once in a while.
Exactly. Because I was wondering, I was like, wait, I thought it was vacant. Who's mowing it? And she's coming back in September?
She's going to come back for a short visit in September.
Did she give you a date by any chance?
First part of,
Oh, first part, well. We won't see her then.
probably not.
Well, but you'll be able to see her, Marchand, correct?
yes, what
As
we're going
we
to try
go
to do is, she had put quite a deal of, and made quite an investment into developing site plans and some other types of things.
Okay.
And for various reasons, they weren't approved, so I've never seen them, so going back, she never made it to the planning commission, I don't believe, so.
So how is it going to work if she's just basically going to give all the information to Marchand as far as what she wants to do with the property, how soon she can have it demolished, if she approves for us to take any items from it to have in the museum, all of that. She'll never come to,
Oh, no, she will.
she will,
So,
okay.
yeah, so basically what you're saying is you can touch the additions. If you want to do something with the main building, you're going to have to come back.
Okay,
And the idea was that that's going to allow us some time to go and figure out what we want to do. The harvesting, the first suggestion of harvesting was trying to take out, the main building is of the most architectural significance, was trying to
Yeah.
take a section of that out. But if you're not approving demolition of that, the other suggestion was harvesting if there's, like the siding. You have all that siding on the rear additions, there's some siding on the front that's coming off. Hey, why don't you take the siding off the back and use it to repair the front?
okay.
So,
And how old is the property?
the building, the main building is late 1800s. So, might be even earlier than that. So.
It's a cute little house.
Interesting enough, if inside the tin roof doesn't leak.
Really? Wow. Did we have in other paperwork, like how we have for the Hanover properties, the listing of who the original residents were and who took it after them and who took it after them. Is there something like that for this property also?
Yeah, I don't think we have any historic research done on it. I'm sure we could do some type of plat research on the
On this one?
books and
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Yes.
I was just wondering. I don't want to make extra work, but I was just I was curious because I found that interesting.
Anxious to.
I'm sorry. No, I was like, I'm not trying to make extra work. I was just curious because we don't. Okay.
Sorry to take me so long.
No, I'm sorry. I keep asking questions and interrupting you.
You just photocopy the one page. Yeah.
You're assuming you can read my writing.
You know,
That's
Marshall.
okay, it's all up to Denise for that one.
You just make a motion to approve whatever he's.
Marchand
writing.
wrote.
Almost.
Whatever Marchand said.
Can we just read it in the record and then, have her say as so moved and go there?
We caught him off by surprise there. I think it'll look a lot better
It'll make it look cleaner.
there. Yeah.
Like it'll give it a much cleaner, look to it.
And I kind of see, the way I see it, the better that Sheetz gas station looks, the more people are going to want to make that their stop when they're on the interstate. Oh man, that Sheetz, that's the best gas station around. Looks nice, it's the cleanest, best looking. Let's stop. Then they got the best prices. Let's stop there.
Well, from what we've heard in the past, that's their biggest money-making store in their chain.
Ours is?
I think it is.
Wow, really?
Price from Breezewood. I thought Breezewood would be, because that a lot of people stop there before they hop on the turnpike.
Oh, I agree with Pennsylvania, right?
It's
Yeah.
jumping at 4 a.m.
Tell you what,
It is.
Actually, I have mixed feelings about it. I mean,
I
on
dropped
one
my
hand,
husband off.
architecturally,
And I stopped
don't
there.
mind it. Okay,
I'll
it's
stop
it's
there.
rather
Yeah.
interesting. So, yeah, it's rather interesting. But also, I'm a little choking in the fact that it's one that they're doing elsewhere a lot.
Yeah.
Which then, you say, well, yeah, it's a nice building, but it's the same one you're doing everywhere else. And then that kind of lessens our uniqueness. Because one of the things that we don't want to do is become just another
Very
pull off.
commercialized.
66, you pull off the highway and you got the strip. And all the buildings look the same. You don't even know what town you're in because you got the McDonald's, it looks like every other McDonald's. You got the Burger King, it looks like every other Burger King. And CVS, all down the line.
Yeah,
And now we
I
got
know.
another Sheetz, it looks
Chick-fil-A.
like every other Sheetz. Even though it's a good-looking building,
Yeah.
it's like every other Sheetz out there. So we try to keep a unique flavor to our town. So then where do you that's just a question. It's
Right. Well, you gotta straddle branding as opposed to customization, right? So, like you're saying, we're trying to at least compromise with a few of the elements to at least integrate it into the town, yet still keep it recognizable for their brand. So,
I think you guys were able to successfully compromise on make some unique characteristics. They're not doing the backlit canopy. I think that was a big concession.
yeah.
Although it's not uncommon for them to do that. The brick water tables on the structures, and those types of things. I mean, to hear them say tonight, well, we haven't done it before, leads me to believe these other concepts they've done, they've just blended that mix here. So I believe there's some value. Mr. Chairman, if you would, with your approval, I'll go ahead and move the motion for the ARB, have you approve that, and then she can write it up later.
Okay, that'd be great.
I recommend that the ARB approve COA 2015-0526, subject to the following conditions. 1, demolition is limited to removal of the single-story rear additions. 2, weatherproofing of the building areas exposed by the partial demolition of the rear additions. 3, documentation and photo archival with copies provided to the town prior to removal of the rear additions. 4, reuse and/or harvesting of building materials from the rear additions as practicable.
Okay. So what I'd like to do is have somebody move, so said by Marchant, and second, and then we'll vote on it. So do I have a motion?
I motion to accept the statement read by Marchand.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, I got a motion and a second. Last chance for any type of discussion. Everyone set?
Yeah.
Call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No opposed, so we're good to go on that. Thank you, Marchant. Your
problem.
help is very valuable.
Yes.
Thank you. I think we're making steps.
Okay, now let me get to my agenda items here. Here's where we normally have a town council update, but we have an open position right now that needs filling, and I don't think we even have a name yet. Is that correct, Denise? So we're still up in the air for that one. So we'll pass over town council update and go to planning commission update. We did get a planning commission liaison put in place, but he wasn't able to show up to tonight. And his name is? Connor Leak. So he will be joining us next month, and he will become our planning commission liaison.
Isn't that Mayor Leake's son? Is that correct?
Yes.
It
Okay,
is.
all right.
So I guess welcome him when he comes. Okay.
And
move-
if you don't mind me asking, Pam,
Yes.
what's the update?
Pam has put in her notice for, I guess, resignation or stepping down
Permanent.
permanently from both town council and ARB. So that leaves open a spot for a
Okay,
nomination.
that's unfortunate. All right.
It is.
That'll have to come from council.
Yeah,
She was the council liaison.
yes. So, yeah, they'll probably fill the council hole, but in the meantime, they may appoint somebody to become the permanent liaison who wants to volunteer for it. So it's not like we're going to wait for somebody to fill the council seat before we get somebody. It'll just be a reassignment.
Okay.
Okay, that leads us to our next agenda item. We're on new business, and looks like we have something to help Denise out. She's looking for some museum volunteers. Do you already have the hours that you're looking for people, or?
There's a sign-up sheet right here.
There's a sign-up sheet in your agenda packet, but there's also, I have a larger one here. And it lists all the dates that we need volunteers. And I'm bringing, this actually is going before all 3 boards. It's already gone before the Planning Commission this month. And I've had several Planning Commission commissioners sign up to volunteer at the museum. And now it's going before the ARB, and then it will go before council next month as well. Since the museum, other than myself, is run on strictly volunteers, after the summer season kind of winds down, we're in need of people to volunteer. And because this is your town, as all 3 boards, I think it's important that you know exactly how the museum is run and what we have there, and it's also another way for you to meet the residents in the town and people who actually come and visit the town as well. And the hours are 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., so it's 3 hours. And we're just asking every board member to volunteer one Saturday or Sunday. So you don't have to sign up tonight, but please take a look at it and contact me when you know your availability. But it's through the remaining of the season, so it starts the month of September and goes through the first Saturday in December, which will be our last day open, December 5th.
And how soon do you need to know?
As soon as possible. because currently we have 3 volunteers that can do Saturdays and Sundays, so we'd like to fill in between.
Okay.
I can get back to you as early as Monday. Okay.
That's great.
Okay.
Yep, so we got an example sign-up sheet. Where are you going to post it or keep it at the front window
Yes.
for us to just stop in real quick? And
Yep. And so I'll need to know the date so I can make sure I have a key available for you, so you can get in and mock up and all that.
Okay.
And you're going to tell us like our tip list, like what we should
Yes,
do?
I have open and closed procedures, yeah.
Okay,
And it's going to be
okay.
simple because I've actually extended our current exhibit, which is our Civil War exhibit, and it's going to extend through October, and then in October, the Haymarket Quilters will come in. This will be their 3rd consecutive season doing their quilting exhibit, so you won't have to do much for that. And then we end the season with our holiday exhibit.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I do have some updates I have to add. You wanted me to talk to the ARB about Fauquier Bank.
Yes.
They have a drive-through window at the bank, and for security reasons, they're wanting to remove that window and basically replace it with the facade that's there today. So I went ahead and administratively allowed that to happen. If they're wanting to switch out the window or do some sort of other feature, I felt it was within your purview, but the fact that they're simply needing to brick it up, it will match the existing brick that's out there today and just create a solid wall. I guess they're wanting to get away from the face-to-face contact, and the individual drive aisles will have a screen where the people in the car will be able to talk to someone on the screen, to someone that's inside the building.
Okay. There's another bank that does that in the area.
It is cold, but it's clever.
Middleburg Bank does it.
Middleburg, yeah, that's
They
what
do
it
it
is.
theirs, and an NFCU does it. It's
Yeah.
somewhat impersonable, but apparently it's a security thing.
Yeah, it's actually a good safety procedure. I worked in banking when I was in college, and it actually is a lot safer for bank tellers because it is a little bit, impersonal, but you don't have the risk of having someone that close to you where they could pull a gun on you, or they could put something into the sliding box containers that some of the banks still have. But even with Middleburg, I use it for outside use with another thing I'm in, and it's great. You talk to them through the little camera system, and they greet you, you greet back. I mean, have conversations. You know me, I talk to everybody, so.
But you'd be able, if you were going to slide something under the glass or something, you could still do that. I mean,
Yeah, but then you have
No,
the
the
risk of.
chute will be
the
gone.
chute, yeah.
All it's going to be is just the display.
Yeah.
So
Kind
we're
of
going to get
kind
rid
of
of
like
that
an
drive-through.
ATM.
You'll only be able to drive to remember there's 2 drive aisles?
yes.
You're only going to be serviced through the outside drive aisle is the ATM, the middle drive aisle is where the tube comes over, and then they'll stop using the one closest to the building.
To the building, that's the one I'm speaking of, the one closest to the building, because if you put something in, you could have that aroma coming into the bank, coming into, anything could come.
I mean, I guess I don't understand enough about security, because I'm thinking it's bulletproof glass to begin with, so.
Yeah, but it could still be
But
broken.
in terms of the ARB purview, I do have some discretion to determine what is altered and requires your review, and so I went ahead. They were trying to move pretty quickly, so I went ahead and gave administrative approval of that improvement. But Ken wanted me
And he worked with me on it. I just wanted to make sure that we stayed transparent to everybody on the board here.
So everything stays the same, except the glass comes out and
brick is continued to grow.
Correct.
and then within the brick is a TV monitor.
No, they won't even have a TV monitor there.
No, I thought they had some type of like ATM-ish type of construction there that did have a face-to-face.
I'll go back and look. I
monitor.
remember. I thought I reviewed
Is
the
that
plan. It
what
was
we gotta
totally
see?
gone.
I mean-
But a little match. It'll be a smaller face to match if there's one there.
My
I'm sure.
witness, Middleburg Bank, once you drive into their drive-through, they have probably about this big, because it has like a separate cylinder for the tube to go up and into the building, and then they have like a little feature there where the camera system.
Okay, oh, so
Little
that would
bits of
actually,
it.
again, that would not be on the building, that would be on the pier where the chute goes up. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
I'll go back and verify whether or not, I remember
Yeah,
I saw they're trying to get rid of any entry into the building from that facade, whether the drawer or through the window, but I'll
I
verify.
think they're still keeping the lane. It's going to be an active lane, it's just that it's going to be with the video monitor and everything.
I apologize, I overlooked that detail. So. But we didn't, I made that executive decision with Ken's consultation. Also to the McCormick House, that's the log cabin on Fayette Street, that it went up for sale.
Yes.
That is one of the 3 structures that did not burn. And it has been kept in remarkably good condition. I had naively thought to suggest maybe the council buy it because it is a unique architecture. The log cabin, it was from the 1800s when the original cabin was done.
Yeah.
The Prince William Historical Commission recognized it and awarded it for its maintenance of it. You can go underneath and see the original kitchen fireplace. It's a lower ceiling, because we were smaller back then. But you would walk underneath to the rear of the structure, and the chimney, the kitchen chimney shared the same chimney as the hearth, I guess, that heated the main structure. A lot of original hardware and the like. Did speak with Sean Rousseau. He's the pastor at St. Paul's Church, and they are interested in trying to acquire the property to keep that complex of buildings together. And he has the idea of using that structure for his office. Right now, the office is in the building right to the right of the church, not the Mead House, but I guess the rectory.
Yeah.
Move that out of that and move into that structure. And then we had thrown around the idea of maybe the grass and the property hasn't been, grass is mowed, but a lot of overgrowth, maybe clearing it out and creating a pocket park for the area. So I was relieved and kind of encouraged by that it'll be kept by a good steward, and they want to keep it as condition. Did get one phone call, would we allow it to be picked up and moved outside of town? They said, other than the practical way of picking up that structure, I didn't think it would be a good idea. The woman that owned it, her father was once a pastor at St. Paul's Church. So that's the connection. It used to be called the Cobb House. Now it's called the McCormick House. So it does tie in with the history of St. Paul's Church. So, encouraging news. We did meet with Sergio Zizios and his family out at Blue Valley Winery. If you get a chance to go out, it's out 66, literally within eye shot of the Barrel Oak Winery. You've been to Barrel Oak Winery at all? Okay. Guess I'm a wino. So you go in that direction. A beautiful facility, but now they're going to hopefully turn their attention to the firehouse building. They're wanting to replace that structure with a structure that similarly matches or has the appearance of a firehouse, and wanting to do a third-story dining area to be able to look out over the Blue Ridge over the Bull Run Mountain. We did talk about possible reuse of the bungalow. The ladies that had looked at that, when Doris closed the very thing for her, there was some interest in wanting to keep that sort of business in town. And so we talked to them about possibly trying to reuse that structure, the bungalow, for that type of use. And they seem generally agreeable to talk to those individuals and see if we can come up with something. So their biggest challenge is they're looking for some incentives. There's cost to reusing those buildings. So we agreed to go back and talk to the council about maybe doing some deferred tax concessions, doing some other things, working with you, the ARB, to come up with a good use. So that's positive. Unfortunately, the project across the street fell apart. Did I talk to you about this already?
No.
Yeah, this is the Payne Lane property, right across the street with Fred's
Is that
Garage.
where they were going to put
Yeah, the clock
like
tower
houses,
and,
yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
That contract ended. It was not renewed. It's back in the hands of the original or the current owner. I think he wants to try to do a long-term lease. I did speak with him last week and asking that if we could come, and similar to the Zizios, come back with a option. We had talked, I think, at one point, hey, we agree that these buildings have our resources. Let's talk about how to make it work with all the property that's left over. I think we can still go back and do that. Trying to get the property in better condition. It's just kind of a mess right now. So hopefully there's a new opportunity there to go back and revisit. So I think that's it unless you have any other more questions. Ice rink has turned in their plans, so hopefully construction plans. They'll hopefully start soon. I did get a proposal for the property between the animal hospital and the Elbow Carroll and Hunting Path, all that grassland. They came in with a concept which would do residential on the backside against Longstreet Commons and do some sort of commercial along Washington Street. So the fairgrounds property seems to be evolving. That's where they now want to do a hotel behind the Fauquier Bank, do some sort of grocer along Washington Street, do residential in the back.
So behind the bank, as of right now, is where normally is the meeting spot for Haymarket Day, when everyone, are you
For the
speaking?
parade?
For the parade, yeah. So there's going to be a Chick-fil-A, the bank, and then a hotel behind it?
So if you're standing on Washington Street, you have CVS, Fauquier Bank,
Yes.
there's a pad site right next to it where Chick-fil-A wants to go.
Yes.
There's a separate parcel behind it,
Oh,
up against 60, between it and 66.
okay, I didn't think about that far
So-
back, okay.
Big swath of land along Washington wraps
Yeah.
around there, and they're wishing to do a hotel or propose a hotel concept back there. Do a grocer to the right of Chick-fil-A,
Okay,
and do commercial along the frontage, townhouses in the back.
That'd be great.
okay, all right.
Do you know any hotel, any?
They didn't talk about any flags or anything like that. I think right now their focus, I think, is on the grocer. They're pretty anxious to move forward. Chick-fil-A, we're reviewing their site plans. They seem to be biting at the bit now to get started and get up and running, so.
Do we know which I'm so sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
Do we know which grocer?
Yeah, I keep forgetting, it starts with an L. One of these days I'll go like Lentel. It's a cross between like a Trader Joe's and an Aldi.
Oh, I thought it was Aldi.
Oh, it's not all thing? Oh.
You know, it doesn't anticipate competing with Food Line or Walmart.
And Food Line will stay open, or will they?
They seem to be doing well. The Harris Teeter is opening over here at the place. The
On
other one
Heath
tends
Coast?
to stay open. Probably news hope that our shops stay open. So
Yeah.
In the Haymarket city limits, it goes from all the way to 66?
the northern boundary is just north of 66, just south of the railroad tracks
So the hotel would be part of Haymarket?
Yes.
in town.
Good. That's
And the
wonderful.
council did recently approve a transit occupancy
Very good.
tax to try to capture some of that.
That's great.
That'll be really good.
Yeah,
The
thanks for the long
McCormick House, did you get approval to, not archive it, but at least get in there and take some pictures of it? And
Yes, Jennifer went in there, was able to take quite a bit of photographs. I believe she posted them on the museum website. Did they post them on the museum website? So there's some photographs of that. And I'm sure the realtor, if they have an open house with a realtor, would let you in. It's pretty neat to see. Everything's scaled to kind of a different time,
I would
but
really like
it's been
to go
kept in
and
really good
see that.
condition. So.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
And talking to the pastor, you know, would you be willing to use it as kind of a, example? He said, yeah, I'd be willing. Thanks, Mr. Chairman, for rambling. A lot of things happening.
Yep.
Oh, next month on the task, well, never going to talk about the task list about the sign.
That's exactly where I was going.
I'll stop doing your job.
So, yeah, we'll move on to old business then. For the welcome signs, I sent you guys out the PowerPoint presentation that I presented to the council a while back. We wanted to have the meeting on that an hour before this one started and discuss it, but I really don't want to have the meeting unless we do have a full board to comment on it and actually come up with what direction we truly want to go with this, because this project request did identify locations of where signs should be placed or were recommended to be placed, and I want to get agreement on that, as well as the style signs we want to try and look and invest into. So do you think we can put on our agenda an hour early next month, next month's meeting? When is next month's meeting, Denise, do you know?
September 16th.
16th?
3 days before Haymarket Day.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to be in a meeting in Arizona or not, so I don't even know if I'm going to be making that meeting. the ARB, how to figure out if I'm going to be out of town or not. Yeah. But, yeah, review that, toss it around in your thoughts so that when we do finally get together, you know, we can make it a productive meeting by, you know, just bulleting the questions that everybody's thought about. Bylaws, they're not on my task list, but I know that did come up at last month. Do we plan on trying to incorporate bylaws? I know it's kind of something that was thrown on your plate a while back, and it's been kind of pushed to the side.
It has, there was an issue that came up with the county attorney's review of the PC bylaws, and they've now wanted to go ahead and take a look at I believe there's some draft bylaws we had put together at one time.
Yeah,
And they
now
wanna go ahead and
do
look
you
at
have those drafts, or, because I
I
know
do.
I do.
I think I have them.
Okay,
Pam, I think I talked to Pam Swinburne about it. So anyway, the county attorney wants to look at it. So that'll kind of stimulate, get it back on your agenda. So hopefully by next month, they'll have both of those reviews complete, and we can get it back on your agenda for action.
yeah, and I guess another thing that's been kind of out there as a sticky point is reviewing the ARB guidelines. I don't know where that's going at this point. I know we do have a sticky on that to look at commercial fencing because we don't address commercial fencing. I don't know if there are any other things that have come up to deal with in our scenario. But that's definitely one thing that I have on hold on the task list as well.
Okay.
But other than that, I think that's about it. Anybody have anything they want to bring up?
I had a question. The old bank building,
Uh-huh.
what's going on with that? Because I saw that they were doing,
So Ms. Contrucci owns both that building and the barn.
oh, okay.
So that building, St. Thomas Methodist Church.
Okay.
They have a campus in Manassas. They currently meet at Gravely. They're using that as a meeting space and office space, but not for
Okay.
worship. And once that lease was signed, the owner went ahead and agreed to start doing upgrades to the building. They're doing interior work to make it a more usable space for what they want to do. They've replaced the decking on the roof with Trex decking,
Yeah.
which you can't see from the street, but they want to use that more. If you get a chance to sneak up the back stairs, I don't condone that, but if there's an opportunity to go up there, it's a beautiful space. I mean, it's wide, it's very nice. They're also painting, as you saw, they're going to repaint the facade, redo the shutters, refresh some of the landscaping, and they plan to have that done so that St. Thomas can have an open house on Haymarket Day.
Okay.
Are you aware of that? Hey, Denise. Don't put any vendors in front of them, I guess. So that's what's going on there. And if you may have noticed, or next time you go by, they replaced the roof already
I saw
on the
that.
barn. They moved pretty quickly on that, and they're going to start moving with the other elements.
Because I asked earlier if they were supposed to be doing the sides also.
Yes, they're going to be replacing. They're going to put the same T11 back up, but apparently there was a problem with how it was originally installed, so they're going to do a better job. And then they're going to have the rear addition on the back, have the shutters on, I believe it's just the lower windows, not the upper windows. So,
Okay.
all moving pretty quickly.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Anybody else? Well, it looks like it's time to adjourn this meeting. Do I have a motion?
Second,
Third.
Someone's got to move to adjourn.
Motion it?
I motion to
Adjourn.
adjourn.
seconded.
Okay, I got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
8:30. Not too bad, I guess. We have adjourned.